Well, obviously, 2013's come to a close now, and there's not long to go. But I think the important thing to remember for those of us who have been opposed to the agreement and been opposed to what I term the peace bus, which in essence is concession after concession to Sinn Féin IRA, 2013 has been a fantastically successful year for people of our political persuasion, and it culminated last night in the Haass talks collapsing, as we said it would from the very beginning. But what essentially we had there was it would have reinforced the failure of the Belfast Agreement, the St Andrews Agreement and the Hillsborough Agreement, and would have merely granted more power to Sinn Féin IRA. That is something that is totally unacceptable, and the pressure that the Unionist parties felt came in no small part from the fact of the many, many people that took their streets in peaceful protest from the 3rd of December 2012 and the whole way through the last year to say enough is enough, we are not giving up anymore. And last night we seen that is what forced those deals to collapse. Make no mistake about it, because them unionist parties would have done a deal. There's no doubt about it, they would have done a deal if not for the pressure of the people and an election coming in 5 months. And still, the DUP wanted to do a deal last night, make no mistake about that. It was only for the fact that the Ulster Unionist Party didn't support it that the DUP couldn't go on ahead themselves. That's exactly what happened, and take my word for that. And another thing, do you want to know something else that was in these proposals? Making the poppy, a symbol of remembrance for all those Protestant and Catholic who give their lives in defence of our freedom and liberty, to make that a contentious symbol. Absolutely unbelievable. And the proposals on the past, which would have given Sinn Féin IRA a mechanism to demonise and criminalise the UDR, the RUC, the B Specials, and all the men who went before and sacrificed and put on a uniform to defend this province from the violent terrorism that went before. Also in 2013, a lot of people have suffered persecution, and I choose that word very carefully, persecution at the hands of the PSNI and the Public Prosecution Service. Now, this is not a criticism of the ordinary policeman on the street, many of whom are decent men, many of whom, and women, who came from the RUC, missed out in Patton, and unfortunately, for the sake of feeding their families, had to go on into the shameful police force that is the PSNI. But at the leadership of these organisations, you have those who are kowtowing to Sinn Féin IRA and who are working to a nationalist agenda. There is absolutely no doubt about that, and they have led a political persecution against people for the last year. But the PSNI have been put in a very sticky situation, and I think a number of court cases coming up in 2014 will leave the PSNI with serious questions to answer. They've made bad mistakes in 2013, and believe you me, if they think for 1 minute that they will get away with what they have done to the innocent Protestant people of this country, they will not. They will stand before the court someday, and they will have to answer for what they've done, and we will use the legitimate and the lawful process of the courts to expose them for exactly what they are, and expose the criminal activities of the PSNI and those in cahoots with them. Just remember, Nazi Germany, they eventually had to face the Nuremberg trials, and standing up and saying we're only following orders, it didn't work then, boys. And trust me,